Every year, the NFL draft is full of surprises, some pleasant, some not so much, and this year was no exception. The NFL draft for 2021 is now complete, so which draft picks promise to be great steals for their respective teams? Welcome to Verified Now. In this video, we take a look at our top 10 NFL draft picks for 2021. Before we get to all that, please hit the like button, share this video, and do not forget to subscribe to this channel if you are new around here. So let's get right into it. Trevor Lawrence, QB, Clemson, Jacksonville Jaguars. Lawrence has the most unkempt quarterback hair in the previous 10 years. Lawrence, mind you, has fantastic hair for a typical 20-something dude. Luxuriant locks of dazzling, insouciant youth. The Mitch Kramer look, on the other hand, does not sit well with NFL evaluators, who prefer the dirty hippie recruit being hauled before the boot camp barber in any Vietnam War film. Lawrence, like Joe Namath and Robert Griffin before him, is a talented college quarterback who has overcome his hairdo. He's also one of the few current quarterback prospects who has no equals, even in a crowded quarterback class. Peyton Manning had to compete with Ryan Leaf, and Andrew Luck had to compete with Griffin, but efforts to create a horse race between Lawrence and Justin Fields or Zach Wilson flopped. For 3 seasons, Lawrence has been far superior to the competition, making such comparisons meaningless. And the last-minute attempt to squeeze some controversy out of Lawrence's Sports Illustrated feature comes across as desperation contrived. After all, Tom Coughlin would have struggled to get beyond the hairstyle. Number 2. Zach Wilson, QB, BYU, New York Jets. Wilson came close to leading BYU to a win over Coastal Carolina. After a couple Houdini plays as the clock ticked down, he drove them to the 1-yard line at the final gun. Wilson was spooked by the Chanticleer's pressure for much of the game, and several of his throws sailed high or came at the same time as the coverage, and the Cougars' offense struggled to move for the majority of the 22-17 loss. It was BYU's lone defeat of the season, in part because Coastal Carolina, a Sun Belt Conference team in its 4th FBS season, was the Cougars' most difficult opponent. Last season, BYU was expected to play Michigan State, Stanford, Missouri, and other Power Conference opponents. Then there was COVID. Troy, Western Kentucky, North Alabama, and the University of Texas San Antonio were all on BYU's schedule. Due to a COVID epidemic, Boise State was forced to start a freshman scout team quarterback against BYU. In the Boca Raton Bowl, UCF's secondary was severely depleted. Wilson's breakout 2020 season took place against a dreadful schedule. He spent the year going into spotless pockets and catching passes from wide-open receivers. Against opponents who wouldn't cut it in an XFL training camp, he looked like an elusive scrambler. The entirety of his 2020 season appeared to be one continuous pro day. Number 3. Trey Lance, QB, North Dakota State, San Francisco 49ers. I'm having trouble adjusting my scouting impressions to accommodate a quarterback who only played 1 year at the FCS level before losing virtually all of his senior season to a pandemic. You too have no idea how to accomplish it. When Cubase says Lance has a strong 30.3% probability of being an upper tier or excellent starter, it's just guessing. From Kyle Shanahan to the wannabe expert with 275 Twitter followers, every NFL evaluator and Twitter tape addict is speculating. Lance's growth was almost certainly slowed by a year of isolated exercises, Zoom conferences, and only one genuine game, which had the appearance and feel of a scrimmage. We also don't have enough FCS data points to know how far advanced Lance was to begin with. When Shanahan's 49ers initially acquired Jimmy Garoppolo, he was an FCS wonder who was mainly buried behind a Patriots mystery box. Garoppolo, like Carson Wentz and Joe Flacco, has reached the pinnacle of doesn't deserve that much credit for his team's success. Number 4. Kyle Pitts, TE, Florida, Atlanta Falcons. Pitts has the potential to be the next Shannon Sharpe. Every other tight end in this class appears to have a better chance of maxing out than Jacob Hollister. Pitts became a one-of-a-kind player in 2021, with any team looking to add an impact tight end having to choose between Pitts and both Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith. What organization would be so foolish as to choose the second option? Since Vernon Davis, Pitts is the finest tight end prospect. Davis's career was up and down due to a number of factors, including injuries, poor quarterbacks, and conflicts with his coaches. Pitts is unlikely to go all Hermie the Elf on the Falcons, and so the McAfee saga is moot. Simultaneously, it's intriguing to learn that the tight end position has just recently become revolutionized and more receiving-oriented approximately 5 years prior to the present. In the 1970s, McAfee, Riley Odoms, and Charlie Young were members of a new breed of pass-catching tight ends who deserved high selection picks. In the mid-1990s, Ricky Dudley was chosen for the same reason. Pitts is now part of a new breed that includes Travis Kelce, Andrew Waller, and George Kittle, despite the fact that the breed has existed for at least 50 years. Ja'Marr Chase, WR LSU, Cincinnati Bengals. Ja'Marr Chase is 1. A more compact version of DeAndre Hopkins. 2. Allen Robinson, but without the ancient Olmec curse of the bad quarterback. 3. Juju Smith-Schuster, but without the Instagram influencer persona and Antonio Brown radiation scars. Alternatively, D. All of the above. The answer is D. Chase possesses tremendous hands and focus, as well as outstanding bad ball and contest catch skills and YAC potential. At LSU's Pro Day, Chase ran a 4.38-second 40-yard sprint. That puts him in the 74th percentile among generally fit 60 to 70-year-olds, according to this year's somewhat inflated countrywide Pro Day figures. Kidding. Chase has the ability to fly. We should probably make a joke about Joe Burrow becoming the team's new general manager, but how awful might that actually be? Jalen Waddle, WR, Alabama, Miami Dolphins. There is only one team. Tua is a single person. A ton of draft capital is required. There's just one opportunity to make a comeback. The year is 2021, and this is Dolphin Quest 2021. The issue: the Dolphins' receiving corps is led by Devontae Parker, who is inconsistent, Will Fuller, who has been troubled by injuries, and Preston Williams, who is unpredictable and has been plagued by injuries. Their health and productivity cycles are expected to intersect in 2029 in a harmonic convergence. Waddle is the answer. Some Draftnik publications placed Waddle ahead of teammates Devontae Smith and Ja'Marr Chase because of his big play potential as a receiver and a return guy. After playing second to fourth violin behind Devontae, Judy, and Henry Ruggs for the past 2 seasons, Waddle may profit from some "the hip bands play the side stage" logic. There's also the Alabama halo effect. When Waddle blasts away from collegiate slot cornerbacks while his quarterbacks relax in surgically clean pockets, he looks like Tyreek Hill, but it's impossible to say how he'd do if he had to get open against number 1 cornerbacks or do more of the dirty work over the middle that his quarterbacks do. Penei Sewell, T, Oregon, Detroit Lions. Dan Campbell, when he was the Dolphins' interim head coach, resembled a pile of quick-drying cement mixed with liquid testosterone. Campbell appears to be a lump of quick-drying cement mixed with liquid testosterone who attended a few workplace sensitivity courses now that he is the face of the current Lions relaunch. Progress? Certainly, especially in comparison to the poisonous mound of powdered mashed potatoes that Campbell replaced. And the Lions did an excellent job with this decision. Sewell and his 3 brothers once reorganized the living room furniture into a makeshift WWE ring to blow off some adolescent steam while they were in middle school. When their parents returned home, they saw a hole the size of a penny in the living room wall. That indicated that they may be raising 1 or more future football players. J.C. Horn, CB, South Carolina, Carolina Panthers. And then, towards the end of the 20th century, Earth's most powerful football champions set to work, producing a new breed of heroes to cover dangers that no one cornerback could handle. Assemble, Young Cornerback Avengers. Joe Horn's son, a member of the greatest generation of high-maintenance wide receivers, is most recognized for celebrating a score by flinging a smartphone from the goalpost padding. Do you want to feel really old? The phone was a flip phone. Horn is athletically fluid, long, slender, and quick. He's tall enough to compete with bigger receivers while still being fast enough to handle most sub-Tyreek slot assignments. He has the anticipation to jump routes and good hands to play the ball in the air like a wide receiver. He's a bit grabby in coverage, as are most collegiate cornerbacks, and his tackles are erratic, but these are minor flaws. Horn has the potential to grow into a versatile, solid NFL cornerback in a short amount of time. Any club that needs a quarterback but passes on Justin Fields will be automatically degraded one letter grade from now on. Patrick Surtain II, CB, Alabama, Denver Broncos. Patrick Surtain was a Pro Bowl cornerback for the legendary Miami Dolphins defense and the son of Hall of Famer Jason Taylor, Zach Thomas, and Sam Madison. Dave Watson's notion of a great offense was Jay Fiedler passing to Oronde Gadsden. Therefore, those teams never got far in the offense. On Surtain, a scouting report feels like a waste of time and effort. He's 6'2" with long arms and was a 3-year starter for the top program in the country. He ran an unofficial 4.46 second 40 at his pro day. Do you truly require specifics? So, here are some specifics. Surtain is excellent at press coverage, but he's also aware of when to switch off coverage or zone. To turn on a sprint, he easily twists his hips. On long routes, he also executes a lot of small things well, such as pressing his receiver against the sideline. Surtain is susceptible to receivers with quick releases and isn't suited to defending slot jitterbugs, although you'd assume that based on his stature. Finally, Devontae Smith, WR, Alabama, Philadelphia Eagles. The Philadelphia Eagles sit forlornly watching the spring rain trace meandering paths down their window pane, wondering how it all went so wrong. In a darkened room with Ann and Alex wreck of the day playing on endless loop and payment notices piling up on the coffee table, wearing the bulkiest of sadness sweaters. The Eagles are not in the midst of a rebuilding process. They're lost in a sea of revolving debt and depression. They dropped from 6th to 12th in the draft, which is the equivalent of messaging your pals to let them know you'll be out of contract for a bit. Then they picked only a few minutes ago, not to win again, but to fill again. So there you have it from us at Verified Now. What are your thoughts on these picks? Join the engagement in the comment section below. Let us know what you think.